We got really two matchups, two teams with really good talent, and a very good matchup here this evening. And Keith, I can't wait to see how things unfold as the Beaumont Renegades gets offense first.
I hope they score right off the bat here.
Yeah, the Beaumont Renegades is a team that have a high-powered offense led by their quarterback, their second-year quarterback, Carl Robertson. And Carl Robertson is a guy that can either beat you with his arm as well as his legs. Want to see how he comes out and debut his talent here in front of the home fans early in the first series.
Well, I hope he starts off really hot and get some points on the board right off the bat, man.
Firebirds kick it off, and here we go with the Renegades returning back. And big hit right out the gate there by the Firebirds as they come on the road and bring their leather and their helmets with them as well here to Beaumont, Texas. Great kickoff coverage there by the Firebirds, Keith.
Yeah, that was definitely a big stick there, and I hope that doesn't set the tone for the game of what we're going to see from Albany.
Albany's a team that plays with a lot of talent offensively, but defensively, they have some studs as well. They're a team that do not hesitate and love to be able to fly around and make plays defensively. We see how things play out here for Beaumont on their first series. Quick pass to the outside by Carl Robertson to his receiver. Incomplete pass. It looks like number 8 there. That'd be Wilkerson for the Renegades.
He definitely got to the defensive back, got there quick. You're going to have to get the ball out a little bit quicker than that.
Absolutely, Keith. He'll have to get the ball out and establish that pass and catch here early against a very aggressive Firebirds defense. Second down here for Carl Robertson. Quick drop, quick release to the outside. Completion caught there. But a fumble on the play, the first turnover by the Renegades. Hold off as the Firebirds think they have a scoop and score as the officials about to come together and make a call.
I think this one's going to come back. I think he was into the wall before the ball came out.
Actually, Keith, it looks like they're actually going to give it to the Firebirds. Good hustle defensively there by the Firebirds. Defense was able to fly around, make the first turnover on the road, and set up their offense here in the first quarter.
I definitely didn't see that coming. It looked like he was in the wall before the ball came out. I guess the angle we're at, though, is really hard to see.
Firebirds again come in 1-0, coached by Damian Ware. Ware comes in a very seasonal, dynamic head coach and general manager for the Albany Firebirds. And let's see how his offense come off. We have a call right here by the officials getting the banner off the field. Want to see how the Firebird Albany's come out, led by Josh Kuka and his offense. Toss to the right, quick pitch to the outside, and the defense recover. First tackle there. First guy on the tackle looks like number 5 for the Renegades. That's Trey Taylor making the first tackle. As I mentioned earlier, Keith, the Beaumont Renegades come in with a lot of experience, a lot of guys returning this season. Also have the championship banner hanging up and rings from last season in a different league. And their guys are very experienced and know how to play physical in red zone.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they were a great team last year when it come to not let red mean opponents score a lot of points against them.
Absolutely. First pass there by Josh Kuka was an incomplete pass to his receiver. Now it's third down, a huge third down for the Firebirds on the road.
The crowd trying to get loud now on third down.
Pressure up the middle. Kuka moves out the way, and great defense there by the Renegades, recovering there with the missed pass opportunity.
Yeah, another step, and he would have probably had a long way to run because he was right on top of the ball there.
No doubt about it. Give credit to number 23 for the Renegades That looks like Isaiah Hall playing safety and staying home to be able to knock the ball down to make it a fourth down here. A huge fourth down for the Firebirds.
Well, definitely the Renegades need to stop them here and X out that turnover.
Looks like a pass and a caught, a reception touchdown for the Firebirds.
It's kind of hard to defend him one on one. He just took that little kind of slant towards the end zone, and he was open.
You got to give patience. You got to give credit to the offensive line to allow the quarterback Kuka to have the patience and the pocket's presence to find the receiver as he cut across the field for the first touchdown on the road for the Firebirds after the turnover. Kick is up, and it's good for the Firebirds. So now that makes the score 7-0. Firebirds points off turnovers, Keith. That was huge for them to get their offense going. They struggled for the first 3 downs, but on fourth down, Kuka found his receiver coming across the field for the touchdown.
Yeah, I think the Renegades they need to just have better ball control and not allow. You got to win so many possessions. There's only a couple you can lose in an arena game. So it's they can't let that happen again.
Absolutely. They cannot afford to any more turnovers and digging themselves in the hole here in the first quarter. I want to give credit to Darren Townsend, number 21, for the Firebirds. He was the receiver with the reception for the touchdown. Again, Josh Kuka found Townsend coming across the field for the first touchdown, reception and touchdown for the Firebirds on the road here in Beaumont, Texas. Kick is up and is deep. Actually hit the net at the top, but it's returnable for the Renegades. Picked up there.
Yeah, they're gonna get a block in the back on that too, though. The Renegades.
Yeah, block in the back, and also they might call face mask, but it looks like it was definitely Keith a block in the back on the Renegades. That return was by number 8 for the Renegades. Vincent Wilkinson, a returning player from last season, had a big season last year for the Renegades.
Okay, I guess it because it hit the net, they called it. They see it was out of bounds, so they put it at the 25.
Yeah, that's some really good field.
20.
Yeah, absolutely, Keith. That's some really good field position for the Beaumont Renegades after struggling in the first series. Carl Robertson leading them again at the quarterback position. They cannot afford any more turnovers and be able to move the ball down the field. Robertson drops back, gets the pressure up the middle, and he is sacked by the Firebirds. Great job there by the defensive front, establishing the pressure up front, which forced Carl Robertson to step up, and it's a sack there by the Firebirds.
He's gonna have to take a little bit deeper drop and get rid of the ball a lot quicker. They're on top of him almost every play as soon as he snaps the ball. So
Yeah, no doubt about that. Carl Robertson likes to play underneath the center. He can play dual threat position, take off with his legs and throw with his arm. But as you said, Keith, he absolutely has to get a little bit more depth to be able to establish the passing lanes or passing opportunities for the Renegades. Pass across the middle by Carl Robertson and find his receiver. Good pass, good pitch and catch there by the Renegades, as that's their first explosive play here in this first quarter, Keith.
yeah, definitely. Number 14 really helped out downfield though, because he turned around and blocked for him and gave him the extra 8 or 10 yards that he picked up on that.
And that was Zeri Davis, number 11, with the reception and also getting the Renegades in the red zone for the first time here this evening at Doggett Park Stadium. Paul Robertson drops back, feels the pressure, gets away from the first defender, stays up, and is brought down by the second defender. You got to get rid of the football there, Keith. You cannot hold on it too long because the Firebirds will come for you.
You're gonna have to get rid of it to go down a lot sooner than what he did. He lost about 8 yards on that.
Yeah, he's definitely hurting the offense by keeping the ball in his hand, and that did not help his offense as well as it pushed him out of the red zone now If you're Coach Mayfield for the Beaumont Renegades, you got to be able to dial up a better play to get back to the end zone or get an opportunity to get in the end zone.
Absolutely. And we're going to get 5 yards on that one.
And that'll help. That will help the Beaumont Renegades as well, as it looks like it's going to be offsides by the Firebirds.
I think Carl was pretty good at that last year too, with his cadence, getting a defensive jump off sides. I think he was really good at doing that last year too. So
Here we go with the Renegades sending the guy in motion. Quick pass to the out. Oh my goodness. Carl Robertson with the fast pass to his receiver. The receiver was not ready for that. It's an incomplete pass to number 1. It looks like for the Renegades, that will be to Jermaine Neal, the receiver out of the backfield. Incomplete pass. Now it's 3rd down for the Renegades. Here we go. Robertson with a quick pass across the middle and another incomplete pass there, but it's a late flag coming in after the play. So it might work in the Renegades' favor there, Keith, as the receiver came across in the post route. Unfortunately, could not get the reception on that play.
yeah, I didn't see where the penalty was, but it may have been when he made his cut. It could have been they could have grabbed the hold of him a little bit. Oh, Olivia defense. Okay.
So illegal defense called there, Keith, and like you said, we definitely didn't see that till late after the pass. So it would be 1st and goal for the Renegades. A blessing there on that penalty to reset the downs and give Carl Robertson 4 more downs opportunities to get into this end zone. Ah,
Yeah, but I think that should have been pass interference there. He was shoving the receiver over the wall when the ball was still in the air. I guess they missed that one though.
yeah. It's very tough, especially when you run out of real estate over there in this Arena Football 1 league. You got to be able to have some kind of real estate. And Carl Robertson tried to go up for a 50-50 chance with his receiver, and both guys go over the border there in the end zone. Another opportunity for Carl Robertson to go deep, and he just throws it high, incomplete pass again to his receiver. What you think about this, Keith? With the ball right there in the red zone, you think it's better that the Renegades would have more chance to get in the end zone if they run it instead of just passing it?
I was thinking the same thing when you said that. I mean, you got the running back right there next to you. I mean, get a good push on the line. He just got to go 2 or 3 yards and fall forward. I mean, it might be a good opportunity to take a chance on that.
Absolutely. I mean, you got the old lineman right up there. It's a game of inches. Just feed it to your back. Oh,
Oh, we're going to get a penalty there. Right tackle.
so that was actually called on the offense. Another shot in the foot there for the Beaumont Renegades. Offense led by Carl Robertson. The Coach Mayfield, you got to be scratching your head right now. A little confused and frustrated with your offense. But like we know, anything can happen here in arena football, and anything can turn around real quick with a touchdown. Drop back pass,
Oh,
intercepted by the Firebirds, and that will actually be their second turnover here in the first quarter. Flag, late flag. It looks like it might go against the Firebirds, but either way, the Firebirds defense is still pumped up and refuse to give up any touchdowns here in the first quarter.
you got to stop in and drive the turnovers. I mean, that's 2 there. I mean, 3 is you kind of push you to have a chance to win a ball game, especially if they go down the field and score here.
Well, even though the flag was against Albany Firebirds, the defense has produced their second turnover in a hostile environment here against the last year national champions for the Arena Football League, and that's against the Beaumont Renegades. So the Renegades now has dug themselves in the hole where the Firebirds, led by their red hot quarterback and Josh Coca, he has the offense now rolling and has another opportunity to move the team down the field. Quick pass to the outside by the Firebirds just to create some space offensively against this Renegades defense.
The defense, all the Renegades playing pretty solid. They're not really committing too many mental mistakes. I mean, they gave up one really bad play the last drive, but it resulted in a touchdown. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, they're playing pretty solid, disciplined defense.
Yeah, it's the offense is really just putting them in the hole with the turnovers. I mean, offense is moving the ball down the field in the last series. Unfortunately, Carl Robertson tried to force the pass in there with two defenders there for the interception. Another quick pass there by Josh Coca to his receiver. Want to say that's number 3 there for the Firebirds.
Just dink and dunk, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You know, just whatever it takes to move down the field. Now they got the first down. So
That's correct there, Keith. Just thinking and dump. You have the space and you give the ball to your playmakers in space early and often. The Firebirds is really taking advantage of that. They have some really good talented wide receivers after coming in beating last week's game victory over Minnesota Monsters 50-23. So they have a high-powered offense as well. Another pass to the outside by the Firebirds. Reception caught there. Looks like that's number 9.
they're
No,
playing. I'm sorry.
no, actually, I'm sorry. I checked that. That was number 8 for the Firebirds. Go ahead, Keith.
Well, they're playing really soft, like a zone almost right now. I mean, like a man zone, but he was wide open, and you know his guy was 3 or 4 yards off from him. He wasn't really close in the coverage, and just gave him that.
Yeah. Give credit to the receiver, number 8, Isaiah Scott, for his reception and moving the chains for the Firebirds again on the road. Drop back by Coca. Incomplete pass to his receiver across the middle. Tight coverage there by number 23 for the Renegades. That will be Isaiah Hall covering him on that missed opportunity.
I think the most serious question right now is which team is going to be the first to run the ball.
Yes, that's a really good question there, Keith. Both teams come out firing it and throwing it.
Okay, well I guess Albany run the ball once in the first part, their first
Yeah,
drive.
yeah, yeah.
So I must have missed that one.
Looks like it was a call there. Maybe delay a game. Or so we'll go to take a break right now and take a media timeout. When we come back, we have both teams really going at each other with the Albany Firebirds moving the ball down the field against the Beaumont Renegades. Welcome back to Doggett Park Stadium here. Lee Mott Williams is joining me in the booth with Keith Russ, my color guy. And down the field, the Firebirds goes deep. Coca. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Keith.
No, they're going to get a penalty. They're going to get 2 pass interferences on that one. They're probably going to take the one closer down here. That both receivers ended up on the ground.
Yeah. With 2:51 left in the first quarter, the Firebirds try to go deep and catch the Renegades sleeping defensively. But it looks, and that really worked in their favor because it looks like it's going to be pass interference against the Beaumont Renegades. Yep, actually call on number 2 for the Renegades, Cam, and he's digging the defense in the hole as the Firebirds move down the field and get close to the red zone. So he again defensively, we said that they was bending without breaking, but now they put themselves in the hole with that penalty against a real red hot offense from the Firebirds.
Right. You know, a lot of times it's hard for the defense to maintain their discipline, and when they kind of constantly being put back against the wall by the offense. This guy, he was wide open. They're going to score.
Well, another touchdown there, missed opportunity, blown coverage by the Beaumont Renegades, and some extra activities going on after the touchdown. But give credit to the Firebird, Josh Kuka. Josh Kuka with his second pass reception. Isaiah Scott right now is the one with the reception and touchdown. You can hear the frustration all the way up here.
Yeah, they just got to maintain their composure and you know, take this one off and get back out there next time and play solid defense. You can't let it one touchdown or you know, can't let it get in your head.
Yeah, yeah. Down 2 touchdowns with an opportunity for the Firebirds to get an extra point here. Low snap, kick up, and it's good for the Firebirds, making the score now 14-0 with a minute and 50 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We'll take another quick timeout, media timeout. We'll be right back here at Doggett Park Stadium with the Firebirds versus the Renegades. Welcome back. Welcome back to Doggett Park Stadium as the Renegades gets the kickoff return and is brought down. Another great kickoff coverage there by the Albany Firebirds. Just a quick recap of the first quarter with a minute and 37 seconds left in the first quarter. It's been all Albany Firebirds here in the first quarter as they are taking advantage of 2 turnovers by the Beaumont Renegades in the first quarter here, Keith. And it looks like Josh Kuka has picked up where he left off last week against the Minnesota Monsters. He's come down to Beaumont red hot, throwing some passes to his receivers to lead his team on the road 14-0.
Yeah, he's definitely looking good. We're just going to need Beaumont. They're going to have to the offense is going to have to get something here but it's gonna, it's not gonna look too good for them, even though we're just in the first quarter.
Absolutely. Carl Robertson is the lead quarterback for the Beaumont Renegades, has moved the team down the field of the second series offensively. Unfortunately, he threw a turnover or threw an interception, the second turnover to double coverage in the red zone. Now Carl Robertson is back on the field leading the team for the third series. He has to be a little bit more focused in this series for the Renegades.
I agree with you.
Quick pass out by Carl Robertson to his receiver, number 1. That will be again Jermaine Neal for a quick reception, 5-yard gain.
Albany's just not giving them anything. I mean, they had the one long pass, but other than that, it's pretty much as the Renegades are catching the ball, they're getting hit. They're not giving them a whole lot.
That's 2nd and 5 for the Beaumont Renegades. Quick toss to the outside. Missed tackle, cut back there, but fumble and recovered by the Firebirds. The third turnover recovery. Firebirds has a chance to return this back. And that was returned back by Marcus Smith. But unfortunately, the Renegades cannot keep their hands on the football. Number 11 fumbled, and that will be Zuri Davis. Had a really good run, got away from the first defender, and had a daylight and opportunity, but he couldn't keep his hand on the football, Keith.
Yeah, this is they're gonna have to learn to hold on to the ball a lot better than what they are. 3 possessions, 3 ends, all 3 ends in a turnover. So it's gonna be tough to come back from that already.
No doubt about that. I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot when you're playing a very tough team in the Firebirds, but you're also really shooting yourself in the foot if you're giving up 3 turnovers, especially in the first quarter.
Absolutely. Hopefully, Beaumont can stop them here and get some kind of momentum.
Another pass to the outside by the Firebirds. Reception led to a touchdown. It just feels like the Renegades cannot get anything going defensively, but conversely, a touchdown by the Firebirds. Again, that's number 8, Isaiah Scott, with his second touchdown, back-to-back touchdowns here by the Firebirds on the road in Beaumont, Texas.
Yeah, they're definitely the defense gotta keep their composure. They're starting to get a little chippy with each other, and you gotta play as a team. You can't get on your teammates like that. When it starts turning bad.
Kick is up, and it's good for the Firebirds, making the score now 21 Firebirds on the road against the home team, the Beaumont Renegades, 0.
Into the first quarter.
End of the first quarter. Welcome back to Doggett Park Stadium. Lemont Williams here. Joining me in the booth is Keith Russ, my color guy, and it's been all Albany Firebirds here in the first quarter as they put up 21 unanswered points as the Beaumont Renegades is trying to return this kickoff back again, but they're blanketed and brought down for a short game by the Albany Firebirds. And things are getting a little chippy on the field. Frustration is starting to kick in with the Beaumont Renegades right now, but they cannot allow that to take over here, Keith, as they're down 21 points, led by their quarterback, Carl Robertson.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep their head now, and maybe the changing end zones will give them a little bit of luck or something. They definitely got to keep their composure on this drive and try to get something on the board.
Yeah, it just feels like they're self-sabotaging themselves offensively. You know, as soon as they get stuff going and they end up forcing another turnover or committing to another turnover. The last one by by the receiver, Zuri Davis, he fumbled the football and recovered by the Firebird. Robertson steps up and takes off. He's a dual threat quarterback. And as you can see, using his legs. And just like that, first play, touchdown for the Beaumont Renegades. And just like that, the Renegades has made this a game, found a way to get into the end zone on the first play of the second quarter. Impressive run there by their dual threat quarterback, Carl Robertson Keith.
11%. It was what 45-yard run. I don't think they touched him until he crossed the goal line. So it was definitely a good run, good downfield blocking by the receiver. So just all around good play. It's what they needed.
And no doubt about it. And that's exactly what we need to see from the Renegades is some balance in their offense. There was a one-dimensional team in the first quarter, relied heavily on throwing the football, didn't run at all, to my knowledge. Extra point is up, and it's no good.
That was good.
And the score now is 21-6. No good kickoff. I mean, point after by the Beaumont Renegades. But regardless, they're on the scoreboard. They brought some balanced attack with their quarterback, Carl Robertson, spread out the offense and just ran down Broad Street all the way to the end zone.
The defense going to have to play defense now and get back in the game. With that run, though, it opens it up where now the linebackers are going to have to stay home a little bit more. They're not just going to be able to pin their ears back and, and just full force rush because of that play by Carl right there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, they did not threaten the Firebirds at all defensively from a running standpoint, and that's going to make their defense, the Firebirds defense, change up now as they go back to their offense led by Josh Koka. He did an excellent job in the first quarter. He was phenomenal finding the open receivers, moving the ball down the field, but the most important part, getting 21 points on the board for the Firebirds on the road. Kick is up, and it looks like it's returnable for the Firebirds. Number 21 picks it up for the Firebirds, but we have a flag down, and the Renegades is swarming to the football as they bring down Darren Townsend, number 21 for the Firebirds. But we have a flag on the play. We'll hear from the official here shortly on the call. The Renegades catch a break there on the kickoff, a block in the back by the Firebirds. So that's going to put them back even more here on offense.
Yeah, it was definitely not a very disciplined play right there on the Firebirds.
Josh Koka leading the offense again in the second quarter for the Firebirds. Quick pass to the outside to his running back. He's able to pick up positive yards, about 5 to 6 yards. That's number 3 for the Firebirds.
They're just going back to what they've been doing the whole game. You get 3 or 4 yards of play and until the big play opens up.
Yeah, they actually dumped the ball off to number 3, Dwayne Brown. Now making it second 2nd and 5 for the Firebirds. Josh Coca under center for the Firebirds. Here comes the pressure down the middle and sacked by the Renegades.
It's definitely what they needed.
Big sack, big play there by Keywan Alford down the middle from the linebacker position for the Beaumont Renegades. A much needed energy boost for the defense as Keywan Alford is their vocal and emotional leader, and he stepped up big for the Renegades on that last play. First time the Firebirds looks like they've been threatened offensively. And it looks like a timeout was called for the Firebirds. Looks like the offensive coordinator want to regroup as the Firebirds now is pinned back into the close to the end zone. And Keith, this is the first time we actually seen the Firebirds in trouble offensively.
Yeah, and I mean, that was definitely a good time to call timeout because your playbook changes when it's third and long. It's some of the things that you did in first, second down is just not going to work out for you on third down.
Absolutely. And if you're the Beaumont Renegades, I say continue to bring the pressure. Keywan Alford or have someone from the outside bring the pressure on Josh Keywan so he can be able to force the football down the field or try to get it out of his hands real quick.
Yeah, they definitely got to get some pressure, get more pressure, get Coca out of his rhythm. Maybe able to make some plays to get back, get this game a little bit closer.
We're about to see how it turns out for Josh Coca and company offensively. I see the Renegades bringing some pressure early and often on this defensive play. Pass up and deflected, knocked down by the Beaumont Renegades at the right place at the right time was number 6. And that looks like that was knocked down. Gandy. Gandy knocked it down for the Beaumont Renegades. Now we have 4th down for the Firebirds.
I think that last touchdown by Carl, I think that really lit a fire into the defense. The defense played a lot better this drive than they have the whole game, I think.
Huge 4th down here for the Firebirds. Can the Renegades stop them? Here come the pressure down the middle. Oh, and completed pass caught there by number 3 for the Firebirds, which will give them the 1st down and digs them out of the hole. Good concentration there by their quarterback, Josh Coca, as he found his receiver coming across the middle, Dwayne Brown, for the reception in the 1st down.
So Beaumont had that. They had the pressure there. They didn't get there a half a step. It was a half a step too late, and he was able to get rid of the ball.
Here come the Firebirds as they have some new life with the 1st down. Quick release to the outside, and guess who? Number 8, Isaiah Scott. His name sounds very familiar for the broadcast. He has 2 touchdowns in the 1st quarter, and he picks up some more positive yards for the Firebirds.
He's a big body receiver. He's got he's not a small guy. He's not going down easy. Anytime he's caught the ball, they haven't been able to take him down easy.
That's a great point there too, Keith. He's very tough to bring down. Looks around 6'1" to 6'2", but he has the girth and the size, the power to be able to knock off the first defender as he continued to have some success here in the 1st half. Pass to the outside again to Isaiah Scott for the reception, but we have a flag on the play.
I think that's going to be illegal defense.
Good call there by Keith, my color guy, called illegal defense, and that's exactly what it was against the Beaumont Renegades. As the Firebirds now, Keith, are moving down the field, even though getting off to a sluggish, slow start in the hole, led by Josh Coca. Josh drops back, Coca, and he finds the receiver on the post out route. Another touchdown for the Firebirds. That reception was caught there by number 1 for the Firebirds. That will be Tyrese Chambers for the Firebirds.
Kind of hushed the crowd a little bit. That's what there. Crowd was actually kind of loud
Yeah.
during that drive, and they kind of mellowed them out just a little bit. But
Have a,
hopefully,
have a
hopefully,
media timeout here with the score 28-6. The Firebirds dominating on the road here against the Beaumont Renegades. Welcome back to Doggett Park Stadium here. Lemont Williams calling the game with Keith Russ, my color guy, and it's been all Firebirds on the road as they found themselves in the hole, but found a way to score in that last series. And here come the kickoff return for the Beaumont Renegades. Great return there by Dontrell Morrison, number 14 for the Beaumont Renegades.
you see Albany's going for the strip every single time. The first guy's trying to make the strip. The second guy is coming in to make the tackle, but they're going after the ball every play.
Yeah, they got to be able to bring the guy down and not go after the football. I understand that the Beaumont Renegades had some turnovers early in the first quarter, actually 3 of them. So you can get used to trying to just go for the football, knock it out, but you got to get your hands on the returner and bring him down. Here come the Renegades here in the second series of the second quarter, led by Carl Robertson. Quick pass to the outside to his receiver, Jermaine Neal, for the reception. Pickup of 8 yards.
You called his name a lot tonight. So he's definitely getting the work in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Feels like the Renegades have pep in their step a little bit after the long run by their dual threat quarterback Carl Robertson to get them on the board with the touchdown. And see what Robertson dials up here against this Firebirds defense. Had the receiver coming across the middle, just threw it too low. Carl Robertson didn't like what he saw and just got rid of it. Big third down here for the Renegades. Keith, if you're head coach Corey Mayfield, would you run it or would you throw it with another reception?
I
For
think
another
third and
reception.
short. Or was it third and two, third and three? I would take a chance on a run here.
Actually, Carl Robertson goes for the pass and drops way too back as he's brought down for the sack.
I definitely don't think that was on Coach Mayfield's play sheet there.
Absolutely. Wasn't on his play sheet or wasn't designed by Carl Robertson. As that was a huge sack there by the defensive lineman. Give credit to Shepard, number 97, from coming from the outside left side to bring down Carl Robertson for the sack. Fourth down and long forever here comes the pressure up the middle. Carl Robertson decides to keep it, use his legs, but did not get the first down. Turnover on downs for the Beaumont Renegades. Excellent defense by the Firebirds.
That was just. I think that was just so much real estate to overcome. I think what was the fourth in Houston or something. I mean, it's pretty far. So not a lot of plays you can call when you're that far behind the chains.
Yeah, no doubt. It was fourth down and forever. And you got to give credit to the Firebirds. I mean, they stayed home, played their assignment, and was able to bring down Carl Robertson for a turnover downs. Now here comes the red hot Firebirds.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
Beaumont's defense definitely got to make a stop here. It's absolutely the game depends on making a stop on this drive.
Josh Kuka drops it all to his running back to number 4 for the Firebirds. Trying to find his name, don't see him. Oh, actually dropped off to Trayvon Shorts, their fullback, on that last play. Quick pitch to outside to Shorts, brought down by Beaumont, the Renegades, number 6, on that tackle for the Renegades. It looks like that was number Gandy, number 6, on that play for the tackle for the short gain. So there's a third down and 5 to go for the Firebirds. The receiver falls down, incomplete pass. As Kuka was trying to find his hot target throughout this game in the first half, Isaiah Scott, he falls down for incomplete, making it fourth down Firebirds. Fans are trying to rally around the Renegades right now because it's a huge fourth down. Let's see if the Renegades can stop and keep here on this play. Snap, here comes the pressure down the middle. Kuka takes off and run. He's hit out of bounds. I don't think he got the first down. Let's see.
I think it's close. He was looked like he went out about the 21.
Yep, he got the first down. You're absolutely right there, Keith. He picks it up and allows the Firebirds to move these chains against the Renegades defense.
Colco showed a little bit of wheels there too. So
yeah, he's known as a pocket pocket passer, but he took off when he had the real estate to pick up the first down. Hand off to the fullback Shorts and brought down. Didn't have a running lane. Good defense there by the Renegades.
I think it could be the fact he's probably 190, 200 pounds, and he's got 300-pound monsters chasing him. It gives you that extra step whenever one of those guys are after you.
No doubt. Second quarter looks like we got a player down. As we have a player down, we're going to take a timeout as well as a media timeout with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go before halftime. The Firebirds is up 28 to the Renegades 6. Welcome back. Lemont Williams here with my color analyst Keith Russ, and Firebirds with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in the second quarter is looking to threat the Renegades defense again. Ball down the field, reception, caught, touchdown, Firebirds. 21 again. Have a flag on the play, so we're going to hold off. Well, go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry.
I think it's going to be against the Renegades. I think it's probably going to be hands to the face.
Another great call there by my color guy, Keith Russ, as hands to the face by the Beaumont Renegades. Defense is still killing himself and shooting himself in the foot here in the first half as the Firebirds are on fire. But 34 points right here with the point after. We'll see what happens here. High snap, ball is up, kick is up, and it's good for the Firebirds. Now, the Firebirds continue to roll here in the first half with 2 minutes and 4 seconds to go. With the score now 35 Firebirds to the Renegades 6.
There's definitely going to have to be some talk in the locker room at halftime and some major adjustments if the Renegades want to stay in this game.
Absolutely. Going to have to hit the reset button, no doubt about it, and just flush that first half. Offensively and defensively, the turnovers was really their Achilles heel in the first half, especially in the first quarter. They had 3 turnovers, which led to the Firebirds to move the ball down the field and get three unanswered points, 3 unanswered touchdowns, which led to 21 points in the first quarter.
Right, and there were the first 3 drives all ended in a turnover, so and it resulted in Albany points. I mean, you get your first good drive and you're down 21 already. It's a lot to come back from.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I will say the Renegades last year they were known for last minute finishes. They come back every single game. It seemed like they were losing in last couple minutes of the game. Made a stand and ended up winning the game. So we got that to look forward to still.
Yep. There was a cardiac hits last season. It was able to come back multiple times, which led them to win the championship in their inaugural season. Right now, they're going through some sophomore slumps here in Beaumont, Texas. Kick is up. Go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
I think a lot of it might be just the difference in the game.
Here comes the kickoff return. Good return there. Getting across the 20-yard line for the Beaumont Renegades on the kickoff return. Turner, number 14. That will be Morrison. for the return for the Renegade.
Yeah, I was saying, I think the arena game's different than the indoor game. With the formations you can run and things you can actually do out of the offense. So it's just probably growing pains at this time, to adjust from the indoor game to arena in just a couple weeks of practice.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a transition that has to take place for the Beaumont Renegades going from the NAL League to the Arena Football One League, a step up, and you can see the struggles early in the first half for the Beaumont Renegades.
I'm not sure what we missed there. They moved the ball back 5 yards. Oh, okay, the bank penalty.
If you're the Renegades right now with a minute and 29 seconds to go, and a dual threat quarterback like Carl Robertson, points is at a premium. You need to get some points. Try to get some points before halftime. That'll help your momentum going to the second half.
Yeah, unfortunately, Albany gets the ball back.
That's
Um,
correct.
the Renegades took the ball first, and Albany won a toss, I believe, and they deferred to the second half. So, um, you absolutely got to get some points here and not allow Albany the ball back before halftime.
We'll see how it happens for the Renegades, led again by their quarterback, second-year quarterback, Carl Robertson. Quick pass to the outside to the receiver as the Firebirds hustle to the football and brings down receiver number 8 for the Beaumont Renegades. That will be, actually, that's Vincent Wilkinson with the reception for the Beaumont Renegades. Have a media timeout with 1 minute to go here in the second quarter. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Doggett Park Stadium here in Beaumont, Texas. Lemont Williams with Keith Russ on the call. And big sack there for the Firebirds again. Continue to bring pressure on the Beaumont Renegades with a minute to go here before halftime. If you're Coach Corey Mayfield, you definitely don't want to see that as they're trying to put up some points to get back into this game before halftime.
So if you're Albany right now, do you just let them run the clock out, or do you try to take some timeouts and get the ball back?
Well, if you're Albany, you continue to bring pressure like that on the quarterback as he throws the ball out of bounds.
Fourth down.
Yeah, Albany smell blood in the water. Their defense is not going to let up against the Renegades. They want to go in and not give up any touchdowns or any points here before halftime. Now, conversely, if you're the Beaumont Renegades, you got to find a way to get the ball down the field. You got because the Firebirds are pinning their ears back and coming after you. They threaten you to throw the ball down the field. They don't feel like you have any weapons or any threats down the field. If you're Carl Robertson, um, they're going to try to box you in and just try to bring you down because they know you rely on your legs a lot.
Right. Well, you know, you got a 29-point lead too, so you can, you know, you can take a few chances.
Flag on the play, but there's a chance that the Renegades tried to take on that play. Flag on the play.
Well, they give them a break.
Yeah, that helps. Legal defense call on the Firebirds.
Well, they got 30 seconds. Let's see what they can come up with in the next 30 seconds. Try to get your points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Beaumont Renegades, maybe a quick pass to the outside, set up the blocks to at least get in field goal range.
Yeah, they've been a really good kicker. Earlier, he was hitting them from 20 yards out, uh, and that's a lot smaller space than a normal goalpost. And he was hitting it, you know, 9 out of 10 times. So they definitely got to get in field goal range at least.
Here come the play here. Carl Robertson goes to the outside. Quick pass, but the football is actually dropped by his receiver, number 1, Jermaine Neal. Great coverage there by the Firebirds. Number 20 there to make sure that he didn't bring that reception in for completion. Got 30 seconds to go here before halftime.
Well, it might have been better that he did catch it because he didn't get very many yards, and you know the clock stopped with the incomplete pass apparently because it hadn't moved in in a few plays. So maybe that was actually good that he dropped the ball.
Another opportunity to drop back and sack. Again, the Firebirds are still bringing pressure down Broad Street, bringing pressure in the face of Carl Robertson. And as the defensive line celebrates, Albany calls a timeout.
Like Carl got hit pretty hard that time. It looks like the defender's knee hit him right in the helmet. So
He didn't
glad,
see it coming either.
yeah, I'm glad he's okay from that hit.
I believe Albany called this timeout so they can be able to try to get their offense back on the field before halftime. We got 23 seconds to go here in the first half.
Oh, well, I think Coach Ware's probably counting on if they can stop them the next few plays without giving up any yards. I mean, they're in field goal range already for their kicker, so at least try to get 3 points on the board before halftime.
Here we go. Carl Robertson, the quarterback for the Beaumont Renegades, has felt all kind of pressure from the Firebirds this series. Can the offensive line hold up? Flag is on the play. Quick pass to the outside. Again, as the Firebirds defense are swarming to the football and taking some big hits on the receivers for the Renegades.
That's going to be holding on the Renegades on that play. It looks like it. If I could see the ref signal from here well enough, it looked like it's going to be holding.
You've been dead on throughout this first half, making the right calls. We'll see what the call will be here as the officials are talking right now with 16 seconds to go here in the first half. Actually, against the Renegades, so that you're correct there, Keith. And it looks like the Renegades are going backwards instead of forward with 16 seconds to go here before halftime. Robertson takes the snap, feels the pressure, get the ball up high to Zuri Davis, and Davis is ran down from the backside by the defender for the Firebirds with 8 seconds to go. That was a great play there to get the first down for the Renegades.
Looked like Albany was playing prevent on there. He was wide open. There wasn't a guy within 5 to 10 yards of him.
8 seconds to go here before halftime. Carl Robertson and company are threatening the Firebirds defense to try to get some points, more points on the board before halftime with the score now Firebirds 35 and the Beaumont Renegades 6. Single receiver high up top, man in motion. Carl Robertson drops back, feels the pressure, got to get rid of the football, and just throws it down as he could not find anybody as he surveys the defense. He could not find anybody. Great coverage there by the Firebirds. And that will be the end of the first half as the Firebirds hold tight and not give up any points before halftime. The Albany Firebirds goes into halftime on the road here in Beaumont, Texas, 35 to the hometown defending champions, Beaumont Renegades 6. Join the broadcast back with as Lemont wins, myself and my broadcast partner, Keith Russ, will join you in the second half with more Arena Football 1 football here in Beaumont, Texas. Welcome back to the second half. This is Lemont Williams coming to you live from Doggett Ford Park Stadium in Beaumont, Texas. Joining me in the booth is my broadcast partner, Keith Russ. And Keith, what a impressive first half there by the Albany Firebirds. They put up 35 points in the first half. Give credit to their defense. They was able to force 3 turnovers and make points off those turnovers. But it's been all Firebirds on the road here in Beaumont, Texas.
Well, absolutely. And if you take out those turnovers, the points off turnovers, I mean, we got a close game. It's what 14-6 if the defense doesn't do their job. But that's part of football. You gotta just make up for those mistakes. And so far, Beaumont hasn't been able to.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Beaumont's dug themselves in a hole, 21 points early in the first quarter, and they never was able to get out of that hole. But this is a new half, new opportunity for the Beaumont Renegades, and the Firebirds have the offense first and have the ball first on offense and pass out to the outside, incomplete pass to Isaiah, their wide receiver. He was their number one go-to guy in the first half for the Firebirds, but he didn't get that ball and bring it into his body on that last play.
There haven't been many drop balls by really either team.
Yeah, especially Isaiah Scott. That was the receiver, their number one receiver, number 8 for the big frame wide receiver for the Firebirds, Albany Firebirds, and their quarterback Kuka has done a really good job finding him in the space. Another incomplete pass there. Receiver takes his eye off the football. That'll be number 21 Townsend with an incomplete pass, incomplete reception. Huge third down here for the Beaumont Renegades if they want to establish their presence defensively in the third quarter.
Well, and this is where it starts right here. You come out, get the momentum for the second half. Man, arena football, 29 points is not a lot to make up. You got to play solid, disciplined football the rest of the game.
Pass across the middle by the Firebirds to the receiver to pick up the first down. Tyrese Chambers. Good pitch and catch there by Josh Kuka to his receiver Chambers for the first down.
Well, you can see Colca. They're kind of doing. They're doing the same pattern every drive. They're the short, and then boom, they hit it the receiver across the middle. You'd think Beaumont at this point they would pick that up. That hey, we need to be aware that this is what they're doing.
Yeah, Kuka is doing an excellent job by setting back and finding his receivers. You got to give credit to the offensive line as well, giving them enough time to be able to find the receivers en route.
Yeah, I don't think Beaumont's got to him at all tonight, have they?
No.
Oh, one time maybe.
Yeah,
I
they
think
did. They
they got
did.
him one time.
They did. They get one sack from the outside from the defensive end. Josh Kuka, second start, had an outstanding performance last week at home, 5 touchdowns, and off to a really good start here on the road against Beaumont. Scrambles in the backfield, waits, and throws the interception. Picked off there by the Beaumont Renegades. Excellent job there by Beaumont. Give credit to the defensive back number 5, Trey Taylor, with the first turnover. Big play, huge play there for Beaumont here in the third quarter.
And that's definitely what Beaumont wished for. They needed that. They got the turnover. Now they need to score some points.
No doubt about it. The defense is coming up huge for the Beaumont Renegades starting off this third quarter. And it looks like the Renegades are sticking with Carl Robertson at the quarterback position, the dual threat quarterback. Got Beaumont on the scoring board with 6 points with that long 45-yard run in the second quarter. The key will be minimize turnovers here in the second half for the Renegades offense. Quick pass to the outside for the Renegades, finding his receiver number 1, Jeremy Neal for the quick reception. It looks like it's going to be second down and 4 to go.
That's what I was saying in the first half. Carl's got to get rid of the ball a lot quicker than he was in the first half, and I mean, and he did there, and that's the result is a very quick reception for 5-6 yards.
That's definitely going to help his confidence. Here come the pressure, which he had a lot in the first half. Takes off running the football. He can definitely do that. And guess what? Touchdown, Beaumont Renegades.
That's definitely what they needed.
Excellent job there by Carl Robertson III, being patient, but decided at the last second to take off, and he utilized his legs. He's a really good dual threat quarterback, especially in his second season for the Beaumont Renegades. Now, we got a game here, Keith, with the Beaumont Renegades scoring first here in the third quarter. The score now 35-12, and it looks like Beaumont is going to go for two and not kick the extra point.
I don't know if I agree with this. It's a little bit early to start going for two. They've got a solid kicker. I would take every point you can get right now. But he caught it. Oh, it looked like he had it when he went up the wall.
Beaumont tried to go with the 50-50 play, throwing it up to his receiver. That attempt was to Davis, and Davis falls out of bounds. No good. Score now 35 Firebirds, Beaumont Renegades 12.
I mean, that's the start. They came out, they got the turnover, they prevented Albany from scoring the first time this game. Um, you need two more big stops and to score each time that you make a stop, and we got a game.
Definitely, if their defense come out like they did in the third quarter, producing turnovers, that interception was huge. Points off turnovers will be the key, the main theme for the Beaumont Renegades to get back into this game in the second half. Renegades kicks it off. Ball's high. Looks like it's returnable for the Firebirds, and it is. Firebirds gets it, and great tackle in the open field for the Renegades. Give credit to number 6 there for the Renegades. That's Gandy again. Had an active first half and picked up where he left off in the first half to go down to make the play.
It's definitely a good tackle there in open field. He got him by the shoestring, but a tackle's a tackle.
Yeah, Gandy hustled down the field, one arm tackle. Let's see what the Firebirds do. That's the first time they coming in with some adversity off offense in the turnover there. Let's see what Josh Coca could be able to do here offensively. Kuka throws the ball out to his running back there for a short gain. Five-yard gain for the Firebirds, making it 2nd and 5 here. Keith, if you're the Renegades, will you just prevent defense, or are you going to come after them with some pressure?
No, I mean, I think you gotta put pressure on Colta, and I mean, you got no choice but to play man. And I hope you can match up your defenders can match up with their receivers.
Here come the pressure
That's
from
gonna
the
be
outside.
pass interference right
Yeah.
there. They'll probably be holding. I didn't see if the ball was in the air, but I didn't notice he called it. I was so busy looking at the penalty.
Yeah. Legal contact there against the defense for the Beaumont Renegades. Continue to shoot themselves in the foot. It's kind of like they're hot and cold whenever they, find themselves in trouble defensively. They shoot themselves in the foot with the penalties, but then they bail themselves out with a turnover. So let's see how they rebound here defensively. one-on-one defense there, and the Firebirds takes advantage of it. Man-to-man coverage, touchdown for Chambers as Cooker finds Chambers in the man-to-man defense for another Firebirds defense. I mean, another Firebird touchdown.
Coca's spreading it out pretty well, though. I mean, I think that's Chambers' second touchdown, and I think all of his receivers at least have one touchdown.
Yeah, Coca's found his groove and his rhythm back offensively. Found the receiver for the touchdown. Chambers across the middle, man-to-man defense. All he had to do was beat one defender, and that's exactly what he did for the touchdown. Ball is up, kick, and good for the Firebirds. Now with the score 42 Firebirds, Albany Firebirds to the Beaumont Renegades 12. Media timeout. We'll take a timeout and come back with more second half football here in Beaumont, Texas. Welcome back. It's the Albany Firebirds who scored a touchdown and kicking it off to the Beaumont Renegades. And nothing doing on that return as the Firebirds comes down with great coverage there on the kickoff to only stop the Beaumont Renegades at the 10-yard line.
Without a doubt, Beaumont has to score on this drive. They have to score every drive the rest of the game, I think, to pull this one out. There's a lot of time left, but they're going to have to do something different than they've been doing.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're going to have to play with a sense of urgency going forward and minimize the turnovers, of course, but maximize the opportunities with their possessions and not just come out here lackadaisical offensively. Little confusion at the line of scrimmage there as Carl Robertson looks like might be a delay of game on the Renegades as the officials. So penalty on the Renegades for not addressing who's going to be the tight end. That's what you heard.
I really couldn't hear what he said, to be honest with you. It was kind of loud in that corner where he
Yeah,
was at, and
and that's exactly what he did. Got away from the defensive end, was able to escape that pressure and pick up eight, about 7 to 8 yards on that run.
yeah, and I'm believing that he's really going to have to do that a lot more if they want to keep the drives going. He's going to have to he's going to have to extend the drive with his legs a lot because Albany's just playing too good of a defense.
Carl Robertson III comes back to the line of scrimmage as the Renegades trying to find some kind of hope offensively here in the third quarter. Goes with a quick pitch to the outside, and an excellent tackle there by the Albany Firebirds defensive defensive back. Came in and took the legs out of the receiver on that last play.
Albany's got some hitters on the team. They're definitely not scared to lay the wood out there. They're coming up and they're putting hits on all the way across the field. Everybody on that defense is really they're not afraid to hit. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was Jordan Whitney, number 11. The defensive back came up with a great open field tackle on the receiver. Quick pass in the slot. Was able to get away from the first defender and brought down for a tackle, but also picked up the first down for the Renegades.
I think Carl's kind of settling in now and starting to make the plays with his receivers in the hands and with the quick passes like we talked about earlier.
Here come the Renegades offensively, moving the ball down the field. Carl steps back, finds a receiver across the middle, but great blanket coverage there by the safety for incomplete. Second down and 10 for the Beaumont Renegades. Second and 10 for the Beaumont Renegades. Is able to move the ball down the field by showing some passing game. Here comes Carl Robertson the third. Gets away from one defender, two defenders, three with a great block. And leaned forward and got to the 1 yard line. Excellent effort there by Carl Robertson the third, the quarterback, turned running back on that last play, Keith.
Yeah, they definitely don't seem to be able to stop him when Carl takes off. It's chunk yardage every single time. I would. He's under center. I would just. I would quarterback sneak, let him get the score.
Just make it simple, huh, Keith?
Right. So, every time they've got down there inside the red zone and they've tried to pass, they haven't been successful at all.
Looks like we have a flag on the play. Oh, absolutely, there was a flag on the play. It was a delay of game on the Beaumont Renegades. I mean, they take 2 steps forward and end up taking 4 backwards.
Yeah, I think I think the time was off there. It seemed like they got down there, they lined up pretty quick, and I don't know about that one.
Well, it makes it went from first and goal to first and 7 for the Beaumont Renegades. And when you have a dual threat quarterback threat like Carl Robinson III, you can make up those 7 yards here on a play like this. Quarterback keep pitch out to the outside with no defender, with no blocking on the outside. About 3 or 4 defenders collapsing on that running play, led by number 5 there.
Should we penalty on Beaumont?
Might be, yeah, actually a flag on the play. Good call there, Keith. But Drew Singleton, the linebacker, man, he came in and closed in on that last.
Yeah. Well, they just you get down to the one and 2 straight penalties. It's you're just killing yourself out there. But you got to be more disciplined when you're in crunch time like that.
Yeah, no doubt. 2 back-to-back penalties for the Beaumont Renegades. We're approaching almost 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Can Beaumont get into the end zone against this tough Firebirds defense? Carl Robertson drops back, feels the pressure, can't get away from it. This time he does get away from the defensive end, but he's brought down by the linebacker. Again, number 5, Drew Singleton is there for the stop. What you think, Coach Corey Mayfield for the Beaumont Renegades? He's a dial up for the Renegades here, Keith.
You know, it's going to have to. You can't run Carl every time, so you're going to have to find a way to get the receivers open. Um, you know, it's again, it's one of those situations where they've got a mile to go, and you don't have a lot of plays in your playbook for a mile.
Quick pass to the outside there for the Renegades. Makes it 3rd and goal. Pass out to Neal for the reception.
I think they've got their gears mislabeled. I think they got first gear right, but then when they go to put it in second gear, they accidentally hit in reverse. Like every time. Maybe you know, check the gears, just make sure that they not mixed up on your gear shift, because
Yeah,
every time.
no doubt. Carl Robertson under the center this time. Carl Robertson, the third, drops back, pump fakes, and goes down again as the Firebirds collapses on him for another sack here during this series. Man, that's impressive. The Firebirds are really coming at them, and they're bringing the whole team with them up front.
Right. He gets away from the first guy, and there's a second guy right there to clean it up. That's probably the fifth or sixth sack. You know, just guessing without seeing the stats. That's probably the fifth or sixth sack. You know, already.
Give credit to number 97. He led the charge. Number 97, Shepard, for the defensive line for the Firebirds, as it feels like the Renegades are continue to go backwards and backwards on each down.
Well, they got to get it here. It's 4th down, so
Robertson drops back and intercepted by number 5 for the for the Firebirds. And that would be, guess who? Drew Singleton, their active linebacker, with the interception off Carl Robertson III.
I know. I think if they score here, I think you got to give your backup a shot. Nothing against Carl, but you know it's getting kind of out of hand with 41 seconds left in the third quarter. You got to let Carl rest and make sure he doesn't take any kind of injury. And this at this point, that's just my feeling on it.
Yeah, it just felt like his confidence is going down throughout this quarter, and that was definitely a telegraph pass because it felt like Drew Singleton was right there at the right time when he released the football, and you didn't see a receiver in sight, and Singleton takes it almost had a chance to take it back for a touchdown.
Yeah, well, good play by the I think it was the receiver that ran him down. Otherwise, it would have been a score. But and again, you put their defense. Beaumont's put their defense with their back against the wall. You just can't do that. You know, eventually defense gets tired if they're on the field a lot because of turnovers. That's the 4th turnover, so uh, they got to be getting tired at this point.
Welcome back as the Firebirds has an opportunity to put up some more points off a turnover, led by their linebacker Drew Singleton had the interception return, and Kuka finds his receiver coming across the middle, and the reception is good. Another touchdown for the Firebirds. Pass is caught there by Townsend for his second to third touchdown here throughout the game.
Yeah, at this point, I think every receiver on Albany has 2 touchdowns. Chambers, we've called his name several times. Number 21, he's got two. He had two in the first quarter, I think.
And we talked about it off air that Albany Firebirds was the team to beat last year. They was impressive, and they have been a very impressive season so far, beating Minnesota at home, led by their quarterback with 5 touchdowns, and now coming on the road and putting up 49 points on the road. So that's almost the same exact points they put up at home against Minnesota. They beat Minnesota 50-23. Right now, they're beating Beaumont Renegades 49-12 on the road. And actually, that ends the third quarter. So going into the fourth quarter, you have the Albany Firebirds 49, the Beaumont Renegade 12. We're bringing more football here in the fourth quarter and see what the Renegades can do next. Welcome back to the fourth quarter here at Doggett Ford Park here in Beaumont, Texas. Lemont Williams on the call with Keith Russ, color analyst. And Keith, man, we've been saying it like over and over again, but these Firebirds, their offense is very impressive.
They're definitely a very good ball team, and not taking anything away from Beaumont. Beaumont's got a lot of good athletes, and they're a very good team. It's just right at this point in this game and this season, Albany's better. Um, you just got to take your lumps sometimes as a new team in the league, and it's a long season.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And also, the Beaumont Renegades put themselves in the hole with those 3 turnovers first quarter, and Albany Firebirds took advantage of that. 3 touchdowns in a row, unanswered points. So that was 3 touchdowns that put them in the hole. And the Renegades continued to struggle offensively until their dual threat quarterback, Carl Robinson III, found something going with his legs, and he was able to get them back. But now they have a new quarterback in.
That's right.
And right now is the Andrew McBride, number 12 for the Renegades. McBride from the shotgun position comes in. First pass is an incomplete pass.
Nearly intercepted.
Yeah, it was. You know that the Firebirds was coming after Carl Robertson throughout the game, so you definitely know they're going to come after this new quarterback and Andrew McBride that really hadn't had a chance to get warmed up here throughout this game.
Right, and I don't know how much experience he's had this year. This may be the first snaps he's taken all year. So, as Albany's defense, I wouldn't let up. I mean, you got to play till it ends. So,
2nd and 10, and McBride finds his receiver across the middle with some good positive yards there. And that was to Davis for a first down for the Renegades.
We haven't called his name much since the fumble in the what was it, the third quarter, the second quarter when he fumbled. He's been kind of quiet out there since then.
Yeah, that's a good point there. He's really been quiet because I believe Paul Robertson tried to do it all with his legs. I mean,
Right.
he couldn't find anybody offensively, so he started to take off. But right now, McBride is leading this offense down the field. Another quick pass to the outside by McBride, and he finds Wilkerson for a 5-yard gain, making it second to 5 or maybe 6 to go here on this drive.
I think the difference we're seeing is McBride is he's getting the ball in his hands and he's getting it out of his hands a lot quicker than Carl was. So it's not giving it, the pass rush is not really having that much of an effect on him.
Yeah, and also he's in the shotgun position, so he's able to survey the defense a lot quicker compared to Carl Robertson. That was majority of the time he was under the center and he felt pressure from the defensive ends.
Right.
What a pass by McBride for a touchdown for the Renegades. Excellent job there by Andrew McBride to thread the needle between 3 defenders for the Renegades.
Yeah, it was a very good pass out here in the corner of the end zone right in front of us. And I mean, you come in the game cold and go 3 for 4 with a touchdown. I mean,
Can't beat that. You can't beat that. If you needed a spark, that's the spark that the Renegades needed. I mean, again, they're down 49-18, but offensively, you needed an offensive spark, and you got it from Andrew McBride, the quarterback that subbed in here in the fourth quarter. McBride goes under center for the first time here in the series. Quick pass to the outside to number 11, Davis. And the extra point, second 2-point conversion is a no good there for the Renegades.
Well, sometimes bringing in the backup quarterback, even though maybe he's not as talented as your starting quarterback, he just gives the defense a different look. And sometimes that's what a team needs is to get a defense to just be, having a different look. They've game planned for Robinson all week long. And now they've got the backup quarterback who they obviously haven't game plan for. So, make a little bit of noise. And, I don't think one quarter is enough time for the defense to really get McBride's rhythm. But, it could be a whole different ball game if they can get a couple stops on Albany.
I agree. And I think also that helped them too, Keith, is the fact that the shotgun, when you're backed off in the shotgun, especially in the, with the field not being as long, a shorter field, you're able to survey the defense and pre-snap have an honest understanding where you want to go with the football before the defense come at you.
Right. What gives you an extra second or two for
Yep.
sure.
And that's huge in arena football.
Oh, absolutely. I think with under center, you have the same amount of time to throw the ball, but part of that time you're backing up, you're running backwards trying to survey the field as you're trying to run backwards. Whereas where you catch the ball in the shotgun and you've got that time to scan the field really quick before the rush gets there.
Yep. Well, the Beaumont Renegades put some points on the board. The score now is 49. Firebirds, the Beaumont Renegades 18. As the kickoff goes deep, looks returnable for the Firebirds, and it is taken out of the end zone. But there goes the Renegades there to bring them down for little to no gain on that play there. Was that a smart decision to take it out the end zone?
I think he's got to get it out of the end zone. It's really tough to try to be in the guy's head when he got 9 other guys trying to come down the field. He's got to try to digest that really quick on what to do. So, I think he probably did what he thought was best on that one.
Yeah, Townsend, number 21 for the Firebirds, takes it out the end zone, but only gets to the 1 yard line. And now Kuka has a chance to run the offense with his back against the wall. Quick handoff to the fullback, and he was able to fight for at least 2 or 3 yards on that play, Keith.
Well, absolutely. And they gave him a little bit of breathing room back there. No, you don't have to worry about the quarterback backing up into the wall now. They were pretty close. They were one that it's hard to do anything from the one, but they picked up 5 or 6.
Josh Kuka is having a phenomenal game with so many touchdowns. One, I believe he has about 5. The match what he had last week. I apologize. We don't have the stats in front of us right now, but another toss to the fullback and brought down by the Renegades.
I think Albany's just trying to play clock control now to eat up the clock, keep the clock running.
Firebirds try to go for it on third down. Ball goes out of the hands of the receiver for the Firebirds. Now it's a huge fourth down for the Firebirds.
You know, earlier they were in fourth down inside their own 5, and they ended up scoring. They pulled it out. We'll see if they can do it here again.
Let's see what Kuka can do here on this. Keep your eye on the inside linebacker for the Renegades coming with the blitz. Kuka drops back, has the protection going deep, man-to-man defense, and connects with his receiver. Wow, way down the field. That's Isaiah down the field for the Firebirds. Isaiah Scott comes up, another big play for the Firebirds.
Looks like they flipped the field from the 5. They're on 5 all the way down to look like inside the 5.
Kuka continued to have an excellent day, padding his stats. Before that play, he had over 159 yards passing and a total of 5 touchdowns. That was the longest pass that he has this afternoon. Hand off of the middle to the fullback and did not get in for the touchdown.
I think even that's a win for Albany though, because it keeps the clock running.
Yeah.
And so even if they pick up 1 or 2 yards.
Speaking of clock, we're approaching 7 minutes or just a little bit under 7 minutes to go here in the game in the fourth quarter. Another handoff back to the quarterback and brought down by a swarming Renegades defense led by number 6. Got to do Gandy on that play there for the Renegades.
Yeah, it really looked like a busted play. It looked like they had some issues with the handoff with the exchange, and I think Colca just ended up with it and tried to get what he could get.
Third down for the Firebirds. Coca goes to the quick out to his receiver and touchdown. Make that 6 touchdowns for Josh Coca on the road for the Firebirds now, making the score 55 to the Beaumont Renegades 18. Kick is up and it's no good. The first missed attempt there by the Firebirds this evening.
Yeah, that's his first miss tonight. He's been pretty solid.
We have a media timeout. We're going to take a timeout and bring you more arena football here in Beaumont, Texas after this break. Welcome back. Welcome back to Doggett Ford Arena here in Beaumont, Texas, as the Firebirds kicks off to the Beaumont Renegades after putting up another touchdown here on the road, making the score 55. Firebirds, to the Beaumont Renegades 18, and the ball's returned. Great block up there for the Beaumont Renegades. A decent return back for Beaumont. So Beaumont's still going to come out with their quarterback, Andrew McBride. He comes in late in the game in the fourth quarter for Paul Robertson III, as McBride had a touchdown pass there on the last series.
Yeah, he come out looking pretty good. His passes were pretty crisp. He got rid of them pretty quick, and I mean he was 3 for 4 with a touchdown.
Let's see what McBride can do here on the 14-yard line with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the game. Ball snap as McBride throws it from out of the shotgun position to his receiver. Looks like that was number 14, Morrison, for the Renegades. McBride still in the shotgun position as he sends his man in motion. Low snap, kept the ball up, and a late flag there. Looks like it's going to be pass interference against the Firebirds, Keith.
Yeah, it's either going to be passing interference or defensive holding. The defender definitely grabbed a hold of him, but he had him beat. The receiver had him beat, and he probably would have scored. So
it definitely would call pass interference against the Firebirds, as the Renegades now picks up the first down with 2 minutes and 58 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. McBride again in the shotgun position, sends his man in motion, surveys the defense, get another low snap, gets the ball out of his hands, try to go to Zeri Davis and let him a little bit behind. But the Firebirds brought that pressure. First time I seen some pressure against McBride since he's inserted himself into this game.
Right. It was definitely pressure from the right side on that. He just had to get rid of it. I think he had a little bit of problems. It looked like when the snap, he was kind of held it a little bit because he was fumbling the ball just a little bit and trying to get a grip on it.
Now makes it second down and 10 with a minute and 50 seconds to go here in the game. They need to play with a little sense of urgency if they want to score before the end of the game.
I was thinking that when there was 2 minutes and 45 seconds left, I was thinking that, I think they're just going to try to get out of here with no injuries. And if they can score again to make it a little more respectable, then that's what they're going to do. But they definitely no sense of urgency.
Pass caught there by Davis. I checked that. That's not Davis. That's Morrison for the Renegades. Makes it third down and 3 yards to go.
I always think it's interesting how you have the starting quarterback and he has his favorite go-to receiver that, earlier, which it was Zuri Davis with Robinson, and now with McBride. He's a totally different quarterback, and Morrison seems to be his favorite target.
Yeah. Looks like timeout is going to be called. Media timeout. I'm going to take a timeout and bring you more football with a minute left to go here in Beaumont, Texas. Welcome back as we're back in action as the Beaumont Renegades called the timeout with their quarterback Andrew McBride try to go out to the outside, but it looks like we have a field full of laundry, a bunch of flags on the play, and it looks like it's going to be against the Firebirds.
I think on that play you could have picked who you wanted to call that on because both ends were both ends were a little bit quick on the jump on that one.
Well, with 58 seconds to go here, you can assume that this game is wrapped up and the Firebirds will move to 2-0 and the Beaumont Renegades will be 0-2 in this early season. But there's an opportunity for them to score a point here or score a touchdown and build off this momentum with McBride as quarterback going into week 3 of their season.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you're seeing that you actually have a competent, a quality backup should, God forbid something happen to your starting quarterback because, in arena football, there's no real second string. So he's not just playing against a bunch of guys that never get to play. I mean, it's pretty much the same defense that's been out there the whole game. So, um, and against a solid defense, their backup quarterback's doing good. He's completed, probably 75% of his passes since he's came in the game.
Yeah, he's done a decent job, really good job. I like his poise and his control of the offense, even though he's in the shotgun position. McBride has done a really good job. Now they have a running back deep in the backfield. That's Neal, goes in motion. McBride try to throws it up for Davis, and it's incomplete. Makes it second down with 20 seconds left in the game. If you're the Renegades, what are you thinking? What are you dialing up as an offensive coordinator, Keith?
Uh, with 20 seconds left, I mean, you definitely want to score. Want to, at least try to get a little more points on the board, a little more experience for your back quarterback. At this point, you have to be looking ahead at practice this week and fixing a lot of things, especially the turnovers.
Here's an opportunity to see how it unfolds for the Renegades. With 20 seconds left in the game, this could be the last play of the game. If the Renegades score on this play, let's see what happens. McBride drops back wide open. Touchdown to the tight end for the Renegades.
You don't see that play enough. Everybody seems to forget about the guy the whole game, and the tackle, you want to call him tight end, whatever you want to call him, they always seem to sneak out there towards the end of the game because they've forgotten about them and getting a little love for the lineman.
Yeah, great love for the lineman. Foul you, returning player from last year, was able to sneak out the backfield for a much needed touchdown for the Renegades. Now the score is 55 Firebirds, 24 Beaumont Renegades. Renegades, it looks like they're going to go for two. McBride sees the guys in motion and gets the 2-point conversion. One-on-one man coverage on the end with Davis, and Davis wins the battle for the 2-point conversion. And that would end the game as the Beaumont Renegades scores and leads with their head high despite the loss. Give credit to the Albany Firebirds winning on the road, becoming 2-0, 55 to the Beaumont Renegades 27 as they 0-2 going into week 3. Final thoughts from you, Keith.
Albany's a tough team. They come out today. They did what they needed to do. They created the turnovers, and that they needed to put the game away pretty much in the first half. It really hasn't been close since the end of the first quarter. I think a lot of good things at Beaumont. They got a solid backup quarterback. He completed a lot of passes, 2 touchdowns. Um, I think they got a lot of good things to come out of this game, but they've got a lot of things to work on.
Agreed. There's a lot of room for growth for the Beaumont Renegades, but also Albany is the team to beat so far in this early season within the first 2 weeks. Again, thank you for listening and watching the broadcast. And again, I'm Lemont Williams, play-by-play, and my color analyst Keith Russ. And until we meet again, you guys have a safe weekend.